Next to some of the northernmost waters of the beautiful Chesapeake Bay. We're at M&T Bank Stadium near Baltimore's Inner Harbor. Jake Elliott is out and ready to kick this one away. And we're off from Baltimore. He'll bring it out from the middle of the end zone. Only manages to get this back to the 20 before he's taken down. All right, let's get this show on the road. It is 1st and 10. The drive begins with Henry. And he's got a decent gain before being brought down. Halfway there on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
A humble 5 to 6 yard gain on the ground. Not a huge gain, not a game-changing play by any means, but one that keeps you on schedule and takes some of the starch out of that front 7.
This is Henry on 2nd. And he'll have a small 4-yard chunk there. Zach Bond with the tackle. The dose of the hurry-up offense here. Turning to Henry on 3rd. And his short gain gets them a new set of downs.
That is your old school meat and potatoes call right there. Don't even think about throwing it. Just rush it ahead and get what you need.
Ready.
1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's an option play to the left. He's pushed straight ahead, and that's maybe a yard at most. Darius Slay with the stop. Manages just a yard on 1st down. Now it's going to be 2nd and 9.
I can promise you that's not what it looked like on the practice field nor on the whiteboard. Typically, QB run is going to net you a whole lot more yardage than that. But let's give some credit. Strong effort by that defensive front who contained a play that typically goes for a whole lot more.
And that's good yardage with a new set of downs.
Ooh, I like that. I really like that execution to move the chains. Now that 3rd down call that they had ready, well, they can stick it right back in their pocket for a later occasion.
Let's see how they attack this 1st down, Brock, from the 43. Lamar off the play fake. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
And right there's the danger, Kate, when you put the ball in the air. How many times do we see these coordinators, when you get a nice run, right, you gain some steam on the ground, you stick with the ground game. They don't, they call the pass, and the defense reacts, and reacts well with a sack.
After the sack, another pass on 2nd down. Finds his man. It's Rashad Bateman. And they'll take him down at the 43-yard line.
Well, he saw his guys pick up the blitz. Well, he felt them pick it up anyway if he wasn't looking at him. But with their effort on his behalf, I think this QB felt owed to them and the group up front to find somebody to get a completion, so that effort up front wasn't in vain.
Jackson now on 3rd. Escapes the pocket. Play didn't break how they wanted it, and he throws this away.
Look at how well the coverage held up on that play. Even as the QB escapes the pocket and buys extra time secondary, well, they got real sticky, stay tight, and force the throw away.
Punter takes the field on 4th down, and he sends this one flying. He put too much juice into that one. It lands in the end zone. We're bringing things out to the 20-yard line. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10.
Great.
They run it with Saquon Barkley. And they'll bottle this up after a 4-yard gain. Brandon Stevens in on the tackle. So through one, this game, more for you defensive maestros out there. Hopefully no shortage of excitement coming up in the second. Back to the bank in just a moment. Ready now for our second quarter. The Eagles have the football. They'll have 2nd and 7 to deal with. A play fake now hurts to throw. This one snagged by Dallas Goedert. And he's downed after getting this up to the 41. That one goes for 17 yards and moves the chains.
You know what I like about that, Kate? I like that they're not coming out slow. They're willing to go with some looks here that will yield big yardage down the field instead of just settling for dinking and dunking the ball.
First and 10 from the 41. Shotgun snap for Hurts. That's caught. It's Saquon Barkley. And they push this down to the opposing 47-yard line. It's a pickup of 11. And that's a Philadelphia 1st down.
That is what elite offenses are all about. Why worry about 3 downs when you need only 1? Move the chains in one play and keep driving that defense backwards. On 1st down, Hurts. And he has it along the sideline, but he got a little too close to that edge. They're going to say he's out of bounds. We've got 2nd down. The best of the best, they just have this intuition, Kate. They know where the boundary is without looking. This receiver's not quite at that level yet. He lost track of where he was, and he brought it in, but out of bounds.
Hey, 73. Hey, Silver.
Hurts throwing again. Has a man. It's Brown. And they're going to bring him down at the 36. Pickup of 12 on that play. And that's good for an Eagles 1st down.
I'm sure Coach, the play caller, doesn't mind making the job a little bit easier. You know, play calling's a lot simpler and easier when you count on the offense to move the chains on those early downs.
1st and 10. Here's Hurts. He'll get this one to Brown. And he's brought down at the 17-yard line. It's a gain of 19 on the play. And that's a Philadelphia 1st down. That brings us to the 2-minute warning at the Inner Harbor. The Eagles driving for a score and a halftime lead. Up to the line, and they're set. 1st and 10. They'll go from the gun with Barkley. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
You know, the elite running backs in this league, they don't just see what's right in front of them. You set up big runs like this because they see what's behind them. That's called extraordinary vision and extra yards.
They'll break the huddle and come up on 1st and goal. They're going to run with Barkley. And he's brought down for a loss.
You know how we hear about teams and quarterbacks avoid targeting a stud quarterback, just throwing away from him? Well, maybe they should avoid running it anywhere near this guy. He's having no issue stopping these plays cold.
2nd and goal coming up from the 7. Hurts now from the gun. Has it down close. And he's able to get it to the 2 before the stop. Now we're going to get an offensive timeout. That's their first. They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime. They've held them out twice. Here we go. 3rd and goal. Operating from the gun. Here's Hurts. And he scores. It's a Philadelphia touchdown. The Eagles get some late points and the lead. Dallas Goedert the touchdown. So a touchdown on the board for them, Brock, as they start this game off a perfect 1-for-1 offensively.
Yeah, I'm going to call that scripting for success right there. Can't do it much better than that. And listen, when you script these first plays, you don't always know who the targets are going to be. It's really then relying upon what the defense is trying to take away. They couldn't take away that big old tight end.
Point after added on by Elliott. And they add one on to their first touchdown of the contest. Elliott's all set for the kickoff. From a couple of yards deep, this is going to come out. Only manages to get this back to the 20 before he's taken down. Just over 30 seconds left in the half as they come to the line. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. And this throw's knocked away, incomplete.
And you ask a lot of your defenders on that field. It is not easy to play defense in today's NFL. Not only stay in their assignment's hip pocket, but to make plays on the ball as it arrives. He was challenged with an intermediate throw, and he swatted it away with ease.
Hey, middle.
Jackson trying again on 2nd down. An all-around tough play for him. He took a shot on the release, and it definitely affected the throw. It's incomplete.
You need to buy your receivers enough time to get open along their routes, and your quarterback enough time to find and hit them with the throw. When the line doesn't hold up, incompletions follow.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. Lamar now from the gun. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete. Well-timed strike by that defender to knock it free. So that brings up 4th and long.
Defender's not going to be thrilled the catch was almost made on his watch, but more importantly, he breaks it up. Gives him a chance to do a little jawing after the play. Lets the other guy know he roughed him up and cost him that catch.
Defense coming off that incompletion needs one more stop here on 4th. Lamar throwing again. Gets this one to Andrews. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs.
You know, Kate, you'll find teams go to this crossing route concept sometimes a dozen times a game. A lot of times it's for shorter yardage, but sometimes things break in the right coverage for a much bigger impact play, just like that.
Jackson yet again. He throws a bullet deep to the right side. That is incomplete. Down to 13 seconds left. Could not beat the defender there. So it's 2nd down coming up.
Any DB prefers a highlight reel interception to just forcing an incomplete pass. But as soon as he realized a pick wasn't possible on the play, well, he gets his hands on it and made sure it wasn't completed.
And he's tackled after getting this to the opposing 46. A 19-yard pickup, and that's going to move the chains. So that's the halfway point of this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Brock and I will be back right after this. Well, that first half, certainly an interesting one. Kate, Scott, Brock Heward with you as we get back and see what the second half has in store for us. Now Tucker on to handle the kickoff. On the return, Britton Covey. And the return sets them up just beyond their own 20. They're out and set, 1st and 10. On the play fake, it's Hurts. That pass complete to Goddard. Jukes out a one-stop, and they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. He picks up 28 on the play, and that's good for an Eagles first down. Off the play fake, he'll throw. This one finds Goddard. And they get this down roughly to the 34-yard line. He finds him 16 yards and a new set of downs.
You know I love those chunk completions. They're so critical. Those chunk plays, they lead statistically so often to scoring. And then when you get it to a tight end and play action, it's just a little icing on the cake.
First down, a run with Barkley. And he made the most of his running room on that one, getting it down to the 27. It's a solid 7-yard pickup on first down. Now they're going to have 2nd and 3.
So much to like about that run, Kate, particularly what he was able to get out of it. The defense, I think, feels a little fortunate they were able to track him down before an even bigger run and crossing that first down marker.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And defenders are there to get him at the line. The rangy Kyle Hamilton getting there for the stop. Nothing gained or lost on that run, and now it's 3rd and 3. They go play action here. Catch is made in close. It's a Philadelphia touchdown. Well, in a close game, they needed somebody to make that type of play. Now it pushes their lead to a couple of scores and makes a comeback that much more difficult.
You know, Kate, their offense did its part and padded the lead. Now it's up to this defense to make this 2-score lead hold up and carry it across the finish line.
Elliott on now to attempt the point after. The point after splits the uprights. And the Eagles double their lead to 14.
Jake Elliott to kick off for Philadelphia.
Elliott's all set for the kickoff. And he opts not to bring this one out, so they're going to enjoy some good starting field position from the 30. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10.
13.
Back to throw. Here's Jackson. Well, the pressure nearly got to him, but still a good play defensively as that one falls incomplete.
You know, when we were growing up in the backyard, we call them alligators. 1 alligator, 2 alligator, 3 alligator. He needed another alligator in order to get that ball off. Credit the defense for forcing the incompletion.
Connects with Bateman. And he has it up towards midfield before he's taken down at the 47. First down, here's Lamar. Oh, he got hit as he was throwing, and unsurprisingly, it falls incomplete. Second down coming up.
You know, so often we talk about speed offensively, right? We love receivers that can run. Well, that was a perfect example of how speed kills you defensively. A hurried throw almost ended an interception. And that wasn't until after they almost brought him down behind the line for a sack. Speed's the difference. You know what I like about this shot down the field, Kate? It keeps a defense honest. They know defensively, if we overcommit, we could get burned deep.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got third down. And again, it's Jackson. Andrews with the catch. Just a couple of yards here as he heads for the sideline.
I know on the stat sheet, Kate, that shows up as passing yards, but any defensive coordinator will take it. Understanding down and distance and keeping that offense short of the sticks.
A lot of room they need here. It's 4th and a long 8. Again, it's Jackson to the air. And oh, someone stepped in. It's intercepted. Picked off by C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And the Eagles take possession just shy of midfield following the interception and the lengthy return. Well, no doubt they envisioned that as the start of a second-half push for the lead. But the defense, well, defense had other ideas, Brock, protecting their team's advantage and taking possession back on the first play of the series.
Not the way you needed to start the half if you were thinking comeback, but exactly the way to start the half if you're trying to take this lead and step on it. That's a defender who sensed the need for a splash play and delivers.
First down play, nets him 5. It's going to be 2nd and 5.
73.
So we hit the end of the third quarter. This one not out of reach quite yet, but it is a 2-score game to begin the 4th. Halfway to the marker, it's 2nd and 5.
Great. Hey! Delta!
Here's another carry for Barkley. And he works this to the 38 before going down. They come through with a nice gain there. Gain of 10, first down.
You know, coach gets in that QB's headset, probably told his offense and his QB, listen, I don't want to see a third down on this possession. Or something kind of like that. Whatever version he told him, it worked.
That one's caught along the left sideline. And he's able to get this down to the 13. It's a pickup of 26. And that's a Philadelphia first down.
Great.
Working inside the red zone. He intercepts it. That is exactly what they needed. And the Ravens have some new life in the 4th. Oh, man, Brock, they decided to air it out in pursuit of a touchdown that time, but it's intercepted, and the visit to the red zone comes up empty.
And that one stings, Kate. It really does. You have a limited opportunity that looks in that close, particularly as we get through the second half. But once you get, you have to finish with points.
Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. Interception last drive doesn't deter them. They're going right back to the air. And that was probably their last gasp. It's intercepted. Cooper to Gene in to pick it off. And the Eagles Eagles had a great return to that turnover before they're finally stopped. Well, they had the advantage for a moment, Brock, but turns out that is all just that moment because they throw an interception and give the ball right back.
And for once, both coaches on both sidelines are preaching the same message. Take care of the ball. Not often you see back-to-back plays end in interceptions, and we're right back to where we were just a couple moments ago.
In the middle holds. They don't get anything on the run. Offense in the hurry up here.
No gain on the play. Leads to second and goal.
They'll try again with Barkley. And he's caught behind the line for a loss. That's the 2-minute warning here from Baltimore. Eagles feeling good with a 14-point advantage. So now, here's 3rd and goal.
Hey! 63, 63, 63. Hey!
Shotgun snap for Hurts. And he scores! It's a Philadelphia touchdown! The Eagles have likely locked up the win right there. It's a Devontae Smith touchdown. His 2nd scoring catch of the game. And that one is no good. Didn't even come very close to sneaking that one in, so leave that score as is.
Jake Elliott to kick off for Philadelphia.
So following the missed point after, the chance to take his frustrations out on that football as he sends this away. He's going to return it from a yard or 2 deep. Big shot at the end of that return as he gets it just past the 20. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10.
Return it.
Trying to shake off the interception. He's looking to throw. He takes it himself. And he slides down with enough to pick up that 1st. Keeping that pace going as the clock continues to run.
16 yards.
On 1st down, Jackson. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. Trying to set this up quick. After the sack, another pass on 2nd down. Buys time, rolling. Oh, the football's loose. But I think a Raven was able to gain possession there, so they're going to keep the football. Well, you don't like to see the fumble, but hey, at least they were able to be the ones to recover it, and they keep possession.
Yeah, and I think the key there was to stay calm through the chaos. Cooler heads prevailed and got him the ball back.
Jackson now, 3rd and long. Finds him over the middle. And it's a nice gain, but still not enough for the 1st. Now the Ravens are going to use the 1st of their timeouts. And they still have 2 available for them as we approach the end of this game.
You can earn your money in the NFL in all sorts of different ways, but defensively, in a league where you're just not hitting as much in training camp, you're not tackling as much as they got to in the old days, when you can make a play in the open field, keep them short like that, I promise you some money will follow.
Middle.
Here he goes. Got to have this on 4th down. A bit of desperation on this deep shot. They can't connect as the coverage comes through with a 4th down stand.
Hey, I get it, it's already over, but go down swinging. Unfortunately, that play, like so many of them today, Kate, has been pretty indicative of how this contest has gone.
Running left, this is Barkley. And he'll go out of bounds close to the 35-yard line. Pickup of 8 on the run, and that sets up 2nd and 2.
Well, that doesn't net a 1st down. You get yards like that in the run game, you will take it in the NFL.
After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. Oh, look at this. He's setting up to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Still time for a couple of plays, though. 15 seconds left.
And this is why scouts talk about a player's closing speed, Kate. You know, once he senses the pressure, he's getting rid of that ball. It takes a player who can close quickly to get to him before it's released. And that sure altered the throw.
That's caught for the first. And they haul him down just a foot or two shy of the red zone. The timeout's taken now as we have 1, possibly 2 snaps remaining in this ball game. Still on the move, coming to the line for 1st and 10. Wow, they're going to pass it here. Cut near the goal line. Touchdown, Philadelphia. So an exclamation point there. That caps off what, and I think you'd agree, Brock, has been a dominating performance.
Yeah, I would. Really in all phases, too. You know, I thought coming in that this would be a much closer game than how it's turned out to be. And you got to give credit where it's due. This offense has been outstanding throughout.
Jake Elliott to kick off for Philadelphia.
Elliott's all set for the kickoff. And he opts not to bring this one out, so they're going to enjoy some good starting field position from the 30. All right, one more snap to play here.
Hey, Alpha, cut!
One final shot here. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop it. And here's the timeout with just 1 second left on the clock, so we're going to have one more play left in a game that's already decided. This undoubtedly the final snap of what's already a decided contest. Another try following the sack. Trying to push it deep downfield. That's complete inside the 35-yard line. So the Eagles will fly out of here with a road win. And a lot to be happy with on both sides of the football as they